New reports reveal a shocking shift in global tourism, and the United States is at the center of the storm. In just the last 3 months, the United States has lost 3 million international visitors, wiping out $21 billion in revenue during what was supposed to be a booming summer season. Airports like JFK and LAX, once packed with travelers, now feel like ghost towns. Security lines have vanished. Empty seats stretch across waiting areas. This isn't just a slow season, it's a crisis. And the spark that lit the fuse, it started in Washington, D.C. How did the world's top tourist destination become the place everyone's suddenly avoiding? The domino effect began at the Canadian border, but it didn't stop there. The fallout spread across the Atlantic, hit the casinos of Las Vegas, and rippled through the New York skyline. From trade war policies to visa changes, every decision made in recent months has pushed tourists away. So, what caused this mass departure? And how dangerous is it for an economy that heavily depends on tourism? Stay with us, because this isn't just about canceled vacations. We're about to break down the data, uncover the political mistakes that triggered this, and show you why this travel crisis could reshape the global tourism map. Let's start with the most dramatic collapse Canada-United States travel. Since March 26, 2025, passenger bookings on Canada-United States flights have plunged 70% compared to last year. Airlines have responded by cutting their schedules through October 2025, eliminating over 320,000 seats during the crucial summer months. Then, on April 4, 2025, Global Affairs Canada issued a major travel advisory. They warned Canadian travelers to prepare for extra scrutiny at United States border checkpoints and to think twice about taking non-essential trips to America. That warning went viral across social media, quickly adding to public fear. By April 11, 2025, a new United States proclamation came into effect. It requires Canadians staying over 30 days to register with United States authorities and submit fingerprints. For many ordinary Canadian tourists, this felt like punishment. As a result, travel agencies reported a wave of cancellations for United States vacations. At the same time, bookings to Mexico and Europe shot up, with some agencies seeing a 30% jump in demand for alternate holiday packages. Canadians are quietly choosing Cancun over California and the Riviera over New York. Fresh data from Statistics Canada shows that Canadian air travel back into the United States fell by 14% in April and 24.2% in May 2025. This drop reflects a steady decline in short-haul tourism between the United States and its northern neighbor. The reasons? Tariff increases, visa delays, and media reports of high-profile tourist detentions have all fueled frustration. Duty-free shops at the border have seen sales crash by 40 to 50% between January and April 2025. Considering that 20 million Canadians usually account for nearly one-fourth of all international arrivals to the United States each year, this shift is rewriting the map of North American tourism. What was once expected to be a summer of rebound is now a summer of border showdowns and deserted airport terminals. But Canada is only part of the problem. Across the Atlantic, European tourism to the United States is also in trouble. By late May 2025, Bloomberg reported that arrivals from Europe into United States airports had dropped by a shocking 17% compared to last year. Terminals that once overflowed with German, French, and British tourists are now eerily quiet. Major European Union airlines are facing record numbers of empty seats on routes that were once booked solid, and the situation keeps worsening. Reuters revealed that bookings for transatlantic flights in July 2025 have fallen another 13%, forcing airlines to slash prices to levels not seen since the pandemic, just to avoid flying half-empty planes. Imagine buying a ticket from Paris to New York at COVID-era prices. It's happening because travelers are hesitant to come. But this hesitation isn't just about caution. It's about fear of United States policies. European news outlets have covered America's tighter immigration controls and aggressive border checks nonstop. Stories about interrogations at airports and hours-long delays have gone viral, scaring potential tourists away. Hotels from Manhattan to Miami Beach, once charging sky-high rates, are now slashing prices by up to 40% just to fill rooms. Restaurants, tour guides, taxi drivers, every local business that relies on tourists is feeling the pain. And it's not just small businesses. The loss of high-spending European visitors is creating budget gaps in city economies across the United States. From New York's famous Broadway streets to Orlando's bustling theme parks, local officials and tourist businesses are sounding the alarm. The steady drop in European visitors is threatening thousands of local jobs and could seriously cut into city tax revenues. But this isn't just a temporary dip. It's quickly becoming the new normal for United States tourism. As European travelers rethink their holiday plans and pick friendlier destinations, the question grows louder. How long can the United States afford to keep its airports empty and its allies distant? Stay with us, because next we'll break down exactly how this tourism crash is already costing American jobs in real time. The decline in international tourism isn't just hitting Canada, it's spreading fast across America's biggest travel hubs. From the streets of New York to the shores of California, empty arrival halls tell a grim story of a deepening crisis in tourism. This isn't about seasonal slowdowns anymore. It's a fundamental shift, shaking the very roots of America's tourism industry. For the first time since the post-pandemic recovery began, TSA checkpoint data shows a troubling trend. Over the last 90 days, national passenger screenings have dropped below last year's numbers. Airports that were once packed with travelers are now reporting unexpected slowdowns, a serious warning sign for domestic airlines. And the timing isn't random. On April 11, 2025, the United States government rolled out new visitor rules. Anyone staying over 30 days must now register and submit fingerprints. This came right after Canada issued travel warnings to its citizens. The result? Canadians canceled trips in droves, and European tourists soon followed. Flights from Western Europe to the United States plunged by 17% in March, marking the first big drop since 2021. July bookings took another 13% dive, forcing airlines to slash ticket prices to levels we haven't seen since the pandemic. Imagine buying a New York to Paris ticket at 2020 prices, not because travel is affordable again, but because no one is booking. To make matters worse, the escalating tariff war with the European Union has sent a dangerous message. The United States isn't just targeting imports, it's now seen as unwelcoming to travelers. According to the Global Travel and Tourism Council, foreign visitor spending in the United States is expected to fall by 7% in 2025, adding up to $12.5 billion in lost revenue. Among 184 countries, the United States is the only one facing a net decline in international tourism dollars. Behind these statistics are empty airport terminals, deserted lounges, and idle staff. But the pain spreads far beyond airports. Hotels, taxis, amusement parks, and tour companies are all hurting. Financial projections warn that this sustained drop in foreign spending could cost over 230,000 American jobs and shave billions off the nation's GDP. This isn't just a tourism problem, it's an economic red flag. Washington's strict policies, from tariffs to fingerprint requirements, are creating a global credibility crisis. Right now, the United States is the only major destination actively pushing visitors away. And unless something changes soon, the nation's airports will stay empty, and its economy will keep taking hits. Now let's shift to Las Vegas, the heart of American entertainment where, well, the bright lights have suddenly dimmed. In May 2025, visitor numbers to Vegas dropped by 6.5%, marking the fifth month in a row that tourists have stayed away from Sin City. On the famous Strip, the signs are everywhere. Casino floors that were once jam-packed now have empty chairs at slot machines and blackjack tables. Hotels, desperate to fill rooms, are cutting prices. But tourists still aren't coming. Even the Times called Vegas pricing absurdly expensive, blaming rising resort fees and overpriced food for scaring travelers off. It's a sharp reversal from past years when Vegas could raise prices without losing guests. But this isn't just about hotel costs. The tariff war and strict immigration rules coming out of Washington have sent a chilling signal to foreign travelers. Vegas relies heavily on international visitors, and now, from restaurants to shops to shows, everyone is feeling the fallout. Tour operators who depend on foreign tourists are nervously watching their bookings shrink. And this isn't just about lost profits. It's about lost jobs and livelihoods. What's happening in Vegas is a clear reminder of how quickly political decisions ripple down to Main Street. And now, New York is flashing its own warning sign. In May 2025, something shocking happened in the world of travel, and it started right in New York City. The city's official tourism and convention board came out and did something they rarely do. They admitted defeat. They slashed their 2025 visitor forecast by a massive 17%. That's not just a small revision, it's a massive recalculation, meaning 3.5 million tourists won't be coming this year compared to what was expected just months ago. And the fallout? It's devastating. That drop translates into over $4 billion in lost direct tourist spending. Local leaders aren't spinning this as a minor setback. They're calling it exactly what it is. Not a hiccup, but a hemorrhage. Think about that for a moment. From the luxury shops of Fifth Avenue, where tourists used to line up outside of designer boutiques, to the bright lights of Broadway, where packed theaters once guaranteed sold-out shows, the cash flow is slowing to a trickle. And here's why this matters even more. International tourists spend more, much more, than locals. On average, a visitor from overseas drops about $1,790 per trip in New York City. That's money flowing into hotels, restaurants, museums, souvenir shops, and entertainment venues. But now, with millions of those big-spending tourists staying away, New York's tourism ecosystem is struggling to survive. So what's causing this sudden collapse? Well, the answer isn't just about pandemic leftovers or simple economic cycles. The real reason is political. Behind the scenes, a series of heavy-handed decisions in Washington have triggered a backlash abroad. It all started when the U.S. slapped tariffs on European Union and Canadian goods. Those countries responded quickly, with retaliation of their own. We're not just talking about trade barriers on products anymore. We're talking about boycotts on American services, travel bans, and nationwide campaigns telling people to choose Canada or travel Europe instead of visiting the United States. For global travelers, the headlines aren't just about economics. They're about whether the U.S. is still a welcoming place. And right now, many think it's not. Elevated resort fees, aggressive immigration checks, and a growing number of horror stories at border entry points are all fueling the fire. People share their travel nightmares online, videos of hours-long waits at customs, or stories of tourists being interrogated like criminals at the airport. These stories go viral fast, spreading across social media, news outlets, and group chats, making millions of would-be travelers think twice. The result? A massive wave of cancellations. Travel agencies report a clear trend. People are rerouting their vacations to Mexico, Canada, Europe, anywhere that feels friendlier and less stressful than the United States right now. And the damage doesn't stop with New York. Economic models show this decline will ripple outward across the nation. When tourism drops in New York, it's like a domino effect. Cultural institutions like theaters, galleries, and museums will lose funding. Jobs in the hospitality sector, from hotel staff to tour guides, will disappear. The city's tax revenue will shrink, affecting everything from public services to infrastructure repairs. But here's where it gets even bigger. New York sets the tone for American tourism as a whole. When the Big Apple suffers, the world notices. The message is loud and clear. Maybe America isn't the top travel destination anymore. This isn't just about money. It's about America's soft power crumbling. Right now, visiting the U.S. feels like a minefield of stress. Trade war tariffs are stretching the economy thin. Security warnings are endless. Ticket prices are skyrocketing. Hotels are charging more than ever, and that's before they add on the hidden resort fees. So is it any surprise that American airports are turning into ghost towns? Empty terminals. Shorter lines where there used to be crowds. It's a visible sign of a tourism industry in crisis. Let's break it down. 3 million tourists vanished practically overnight. Billions of dollars in revenue evaporated. Las Vegas casinos are dimming their lights. New York's iconic attractions are losing their sparkle. America's invisible export, international tourism, is stalling midair. And the root cause? It's Washington's political choices. If U.S. policymakers don't lower trade tensions, reduce airport hassle, and get inflation under control, America's reputation could suffer long-term damage. Imagine this, the once famous Welcome to America sign gathering rust, fading in the background while tourists choose other destinations. So, here's the big question. Will global travelers swap the stars and stripes for Canada's maple leaf or the EU's golden stars? Or will this crisis force the U.S. tourism industry to finally reinvent itself? By cutting hidden fees, creating smoother visitor experiences, and rebuilding the trust that's been lost. What do you think? Would you still book a trip to America this year? Or are you looking elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe. because in the next video, we're going to expose exactly who's profiting while America's tourism market shrinks by the day.